Now first, before anything else, we're currently at around $75,704 total yearly dividends, or around $6,300 per month, which of course changes ongoingly because I do hold names in here that don't pay the same exact amount every single month ongoingly. Tracking your dividends is something very important that I found extremely helpful and, more importantly, extremely motivating in the early days of my dividend investing journey. Now in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how I personally track my 7-figure portfolio as of right now, show you step by step how it's done, and explain to you why it's so important whether you have 1 share of a stock or ETF or whether you have 1,000 shares of it. Now if you consider yourself a dividend growth investor, make sure to stick around, drop a like down below, and let's get right into it. So first things first, this is a dividend tracker that I came up with, I developed myself, and I've been using to track my dividend income for a while now, and honestly it's been great. Now the cool part is that you can grab this same exact tracker. It's the first link in my description down below. But even if you don't want to grab my specific dividend tracker, I want to share with you exactly how this tracker does work, and then I also want to explain to you why it's so motivating and so important and crucial to track your progress ongoingly. So just real quick, for those of you that did grab my dividend tracker down below, this dividend tracker is going to be preloaded with data. So basically all you have to do is go to the dividend tracker tab, go through here and type in whatever stock or ETF that you're currently holding on to, and everything for the most part will populate. So for example, right here, let's say that I type in PG or Procter & Gamble. I just type in PG in the ticker symbol column and then press tab, and then right there automatically the stock company name is added automatically, and then all you have to do right here is type in how many shares of it that you have. So let's say I have 10 shares of PG, and my average cost for PG, let's say I bought it a while ago for $25 per share. So I would type in 25 and press tab again. Now basically with my dividend tracker, it's honestly that simple. You type in PG, the name populates, you type in how many shares you have, your average cost per share. And then what's pretty cool is it shows the last closing price from whenever the market was open. And then it will show the current dividend yield for whatever stock or ETF we're talking about. In this case for PG, it's 2.54%. And then also what's helpful, it's going to show you your yield on cost, which for this example, because we said that we bought PG a long time ago at $25 per share, the yield on cost is super high at 16.4%. So then it will show you how much in dividends estimated you're going to earn per year, which is almost $41, and then around $3.42 per month in dividends. It's that simple, and just like that, you're tracking your dividends and you're tracking your progress. Now what's super cool is over time, as you add more positions to your portfolio, you can of course add more ticker symbols and have it populated, and basically over time build out this entire dividend tracker as sort of your master tracker across all your portfolios. Now, like I said, even if you don't want to use this specific portfolio tracker, which I've came up with and developed, I do think it's crucial to track your progress ongoingly, because as a dividend growth investor, there's nothing more satisfying than working hard for your active income, buying a share or two of a high quality different stock or ETF, and then seeing your dividend income on a yearly basis and monthly basis move up. And honestly, this is not only motivating, it's almost addicting. As you buy shares over time and see your total go up, you're going to want to save even more money and get your dividend income total closer and closer to your long-term goals. So now that we went through and I shared with you why I think, and quite frankly, why I know tracking your dividends is so important, especially for long-term success. For those that might be curious on every single newer position that I'm currently holding in my long-term dividend growth portfolio, because as a side note, I have added some new positions as of recently. Let's go through the entire portfolio, break it down, and see what we have. Now first, before anything else, we're currently at around $75,704 total yearly dividends, or around $6,300 per month, which of course changes ongoingly because I do hold names in here that don't pay the same exact amount every single month ongoingly, like JEPB, JEPQ, and others. But more importantly, as of right now, going through the entire portfolio, we currently have still 1,748 shares of BDJ. We have 1,476 shares of Devo. We still have our 1,262 of Verizon. We still have our 1,000 shares of Apple. We have our 2,734 of QYLD. We have 2,858 of Realty Income, 1,248 JEPI. We have 746 shares of EPD. We still have our 700 shares of BST. We still unfortunately have our 611 shares of MPW. We have our 508 of JEPQ. We have our 300 shares of Omega Healthcare. We still have our 246 shares of NUC, our 194 shares of XYLD. We are now officially up to 604 shares of SCHD, the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, which is one of my main positions I'm trying to build as fast as possible as of right now. I'm trying to get to 1,000 shares by the end of 2024, and at this rate, it's going to be tough, but we might be able to do it. Also, another note on SCHD, I really want to get as many shares as possible before the next ex-dividend date, which is coming up sometime in June. We then have 311 shares of All Tree Group, we have our 261 of Triple N REIT, we have our 100 shares of JP Morgan, 293 shares of Vici, which I've sort of been thinking about selling off some of these Vici and maybe putting the money into SPYI or something more diversified. Let me know what you guys think about Vici as of right now. Then lastly, towards the end, this is where some newer positions are coming into play. We have our 59 shares of Kinder Morgan, our 234 of Main Street Capital. We still have our 89 shares of Walgreens. We have our 351 shares of WP Carey. We have P&W stock, 47 shares. We still have our 255 shares of TSLY. We have our 24 shares of UPS. We have our 20 shares of PM Pipeline. We have our 18 shares of ABR, 16 shares of EXR. We have 17 shares of SPG, 120 shares of SVOL, a position I have been adding a small amount to here and there. We then have our 9 shares of Stag, our 8 shares of T-Row, our 19 shares of Kimberly-Clark, our 3192 of V&Q, our 200 KO. We have our 700 PSA. We then have 355 more or less shares of SPYI. This is another major position I've been adding to as of recently. I'm not exactly certain if this is super accurate. I have to go through again and add everything up, but I have been adding a ton of SPYI to the long-term portfolio as of recently as things have been shifting in and out. I'm really bullish on SPYI. I really like what they have to offer. Will I make SPYI my biggest position of all time? No, but I do think that SPYI will be a great income-focused position in this portfolio long-term. Let me know down below what you guys think about SPYI. We then have another brand new position, 12 shares of FEPI or FEPI, the Rex Fang Innovation ETF, also a super interesting satellite position income focused ETF. FEPI's one to look into. And then lastly, we added on DGRW. This is a position I have had a few shares of, but I didn't realize I didn't add it to my long-term portfolio tracker. So all in all, this is more or less how the portfolio is sitting. There are, of course, going to be some positions that are missing. I currently run portfolios on all the different brokerages, more or less, so it does take some time to move everything over. Now, like I was sort of saying towards the beginning of the video, I do think that tracking your dividends is super important. I don't know about you guys, but going in here and changing, for example, the 508 shares of JEPQ to 509 shares, seeing my dividend income yearly move up significantly, seeing the dividend income on a monthly basis move up a little bit, it is so important. And I would like to think that I'm alone here, that I'm just so obsessed with dividend investing, but I do see other people across YouTube and of course on Twitter or X talking about the same exact strategy of building out portfolios brick by brick, adding a position here and there, and watching the numbers consistently move up. It is addicting and it is amazing. So there we have it, exactly how I track my dividend income and some methods on how you should definitely track your dividend income also. Now, like I said earlier, you do not need to use my dividend tracker, although if you want to, it's the first link in my description. And it doesn't matter to me if you track your dividends on a piece of paper, a piece of loose leaf, a notebook, or a dividend tracker like this one. Just start tracking your dividends and get super motivated and passionate about it. That is all I'm asking. But if this video brought you any value and you did happen to enjoy it, make sure to drop a like down below, subscribe for more future content like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.